Yeah, so we're not dead. There, that's a bit of news, isn't it? I guess. What happened? Why are we not in Central America? And why am I wearing a blue work shirt again? Right, okay. Two things two things happened that made us come back to England. One of them was that one of our relatives is not very well. So we've come back because we want to help out with the family and also make sure that she's all right, basically. So that's the primary reason why we've come back. Three reasons, actually. Three reasons why we chose to come back. But the main one, the instigator of it was, if you like, was family illness and making sure that we do the right thing with our families. I'm on the Isle of Man, actually. Look at this. Yeah, it's not bad, is it? I'll show you a bit more of that. So that was the first thing. The second thing is that money was getting really tight, and I found it really hard to earn money online in Mexico with online teaching because of the Wi-Fi and the fact that we were moving around quite a lot. So being a true digital nomad in Mexico I found to be really difficult because the Wi-Fi was so variable that sometimes you couldn't hold a Skype call with it, or you couldn't. Let me swing around that way so the sun's a bit better for you. Yeah, it was difficult because we couldn't have trusty Wi-Fi, if you like, and also we found that cost of living was a bit more expensive than it was in Southeast Asia. So that was the other thing. Run out of money. Now the plan was actually that I planned to go to fly from Mexico to Cambodia, and I was going to go and work back at the school that I was working in Cambodia. But when we heard the news, we decided not to. We decided the best thing to do was for us to come home. And the third thing is that it'd be a good time to come back and have a look to see if we can buy another house, or buy a small flat actually, which is one of the things that we're looking into. So we have a little bit of property in England, and it's coming up for remortgage time. This year we need to remortgage, and it would be a good time to come back, look at that and see if we can maybe buy another place, maybe let it out as an Airbnb or something like that. So there we go, three things why we've stopped travelling for a while. I was very lucky as I landed and phoned up the company that I worked for before we decided to go to Cambodia, and basically the bloke I used to work for just said, yeah, when do you want to start? And I said, can I start Monday? And he was like, yeah, it's fine. So I'm back wearing a blue MEL shirt, and I'm back as a oil spill remediation engineer, project manager, travelling around doing surveys and costing and scoping remediation projects for oil spills, which is what I used to do before I left. So actually nothing has changed, which is quite funny really, because the consequences of taking pretty much 18 months or more out of normal working life is that I've ended up doing exactly the same as what I was doing 2 days before we left, and what I did for years before that anyway. So that's quite encouraging really, because it means, you know, as long as I maintain relationship with the people that I've worked for in the past in England, that picking up where we left off if we ever need to come back to England again is relatively easy, which gives you a little bit more security, doesn't it? It gives you a little bit more of a secure feeling, and And the very worst thing that'll ever happen really is that I end up back in England doing something that actually isn't a bad job at all. I quite enjoy my job. I mean, for today, look, it's 9:30 in the morning, and I'm sitting on the beach here in the Isle of Man, waiting to have a meeting with the Environment Agency. So yeah, there we go. So we're not dead. Thanks for all of the concern. That was quite nice to receive a lot of emails and messages saying, what you're doing, where are you okay, from various people. You know who you are out there. Thank you very much for that. That's nice to know that people are concerned, and just really making this video to stop people worrying, I guess. Well, we haven't been kidnapped by drug cartel or anything like that, you know. I haven't been stitched up as a drugs mule and posted to America or anything like that. So no, we just came home, and it took a little while to get into the swing of things again, and took a little while to set ourselves up. We've got a small apartment that we're living in, and we stayed at friends, we stayed at relatives for the first couple of months that we were back, and now Tanya's doing her digital nomad type life still. She's currently off in Thailand for the next 2 weeks on a conference, and the easiest way for me to earn money was to just go back into what I was doing before. So we're doing that. For the future, the idea is that I want to work in England again for a year. I've said that to my employer. Said that I'd take a year at least with them. That shows that I've got a little bit of commitment to them, and that might or might not help me out in the future if ever I need to, you know, if ever I need to come back to England again in the future. If I say I'm going to do a year and I do a year, then that's good. And we'll see where we're at the end of that year, you know. But the goal eventually is to go back to Central America and finish travelling through Central America. But this time I don't want to work my way through it, because that was slow, laborious, and it wasn't actually very pleasant. So I want to take enough money with me to finish off travelling around Central America, and then I'd love to go back to Cambodia, and I'd like to start something in Cambodia, maybe Airbnb style, house let, long-term lease or something, or maybe even build something out there, I don't know. And definitely go back into teaching, because I found teaching was really rewarding. Actually, it's one of the best jobs that I think I've ever had. Certainly the most challenging and the most enjoyable as well. And so yeah, that's the plans for the future, and just to carry on doing stuff, I guess. So anyway, Andy here for Going Nomad, aka Pigs on Bikes. That's a bit of an update for you, and let's just have a nice beach shot. See if I can stand up without falling over. I'm standing on some wobbly rocks. Here we go. Life could be worse, you know. It really could. Okay, stay safe out there. Take care.